Hey guys, I have a little pet peeve to talk with you guys about today. I'm becoming a little more and more concerned and appalled by the way that female truthers are taking the opportunity with all the attention that they're getting. They're taking the opportunity to try to like entice their masculines and compete with their masculines karmics and maybe even make their masculines jealous, that type of thing, by being half naked. Or I'm not going to name any names, but certain people tend to feel like they have to show their cleavage and that they have to dangle crystals in their cleavage. And when they get on their videos on Instagram and some things, or be in bikinis or any or all of the above, or dance around all slinky and half naked. And they get on these live videos, and the first thing they do is they make sure that their boobies are on the camera and that they're just like, okay, is that showing? Yeah, it's showing. Okay, is the crystal in my? Yeah, okay, all right. You know, like that's the most important thing, right? So I did this really funny thing once. I thought that my masculine wanted to see my butt, and I thought, and this, by the way, is to not distract you. It's not because I want to look perfect, okay? It's because I don't want this thing going boing like this, and you guys like staring at it the whole time. You know what I mean? Anyway, so I thought he wanted to see my butt, and I was just like, I'm not going to do what every other girl is doing, and I'm not going to get in some lingerie and bend over and get in the best position possible to show him what I got and all this other BS. I'm not going to lower myself and do something like that. So I did something really hilarious, you guys. And I pulled down my sweatpants and showed him my butt and took a picture in the mirror. I said, there. And I still crack up. Dude, if you need to like be twerking just to feel like you're something special, like anybody can twerk. Are you kidding me? That is not any kind of special skill. Give me a break. We are going into the new earth right now, and going into the new earth, we are coming into, as I'm like totally, we are coming into a time of authenticity. Okay. That means being yourself. That means really honestly being yourself, not manipulating a situation, trying to look a certain way. I was cracking up at this Instagram, or this little TikTok thing. It was so funny, guys. I'm going to try to see if I can screenshot it and put it here, like on the video somewhere, because it was just so funny. This gal she's like, this is what my husband thought he was getting, which is all these sexy pictures that they put all over Instagram and whatnot. What he's actually getting, and she showed herself on the couch, like bundled up in a blanket. Like, I was like, that's exactly how it is. So I just want to encourage anyone who's feeling like, and masculines, honestly, if your woman is trying to play herself up and walking around in bikinis, trying to show her body off and stuff like that, you damn well better be sure that person is also going to be the kind of person who is going to manipulate you, because she's already manipulating you, trying to use her body to entice you and to compete with other women and whatnot. So she's already going to be the kind of person that if you don't treat her right, or if you don't do the right thing, she's going to try to make you jealous and either sleep with other people or take these sexy pictures. So look what I could give to another man. If you don't, treat me right, then I'm going to be giving it to another guy. It's very immature, you guys. It is not the authenticity we're coming into in this new life. And so many people who are doing this, these truthers, are spiritual, powerful, awesome people. And they would probably say, but I'm a goddess. I'm acting like a goddess. Well, do you know any kind of a queen that would flaunt herself like that? I don't. I mean, a little discretion, a little maturity, a little covering up and being a mystery a bit, unless it's directly for your masculine. If he wants to see something like that, you want to show it to him, go ahead. Between you and him, not the whole world, And it's just, I don't know. It makes me sad. It makes me sad because they're giving the truthers a really bad name and they're making them look very superficial. And it's a pet peeve, and it's becoming worse. And then you got them all picking on each other too. I heard, okay, so I have a group on Telegram, and in the group, I haven't been tending it. I haven't been watching it for a while. And I asked a friend of mine, I said, are you on my group on Telegram? It's not really my group. It's not like an Amy Satori group. It's just a group that I came up with so people could exchange information. So she said, yeah, I don't really get on there anymore. And I'm like, why? And she said, because somebody's being kind of a bully. They're being kind of a tyrant. Like if you go to speak your own piece or say what you want to say, somebody's making comments about it and kind of knocking it down, or poo-pooing it, or like somebody's dominating in there. And I don't know who it is because I haven't looked at it. And but that really disappointed me. And they're being really fear-driven. They're sharing all kinds of things like beware of this and be scared of that. And oh my gosh, this injustice is happening, and this thing, and she and I were both. They don't have a clue what's going on right now. They don't realize we've already won, and that this is just to wake everybody up. So don't spread fear. Don't be a freaking tyrant when you're preaching how wrong it is in this world that everybody's being a tyrant right now. Do you know what I mean? Stop being a hypocrite, you guys. Stop being a hypocrite. And here's what you do when you have a pet peeve like I did. You take a look at whatever that issue is, and this is how you drop the ego, okay? And this is why I always talk about my thank you God for my misery exercise. You take the issue and you say, all right, so these girls are flashing their boobies all over the place, trying to get attention, being really obnoxious. So what is the benefit or the advantage to that? And I talked to some of you and you're like, well, there is no benefit. There is no advantage. Okay, so you're completely consumed in your ego and you're a hypocrite. If you're not willing to look at yourself and be self-aware and take a look at some of the things that you're doing, then then you're just a hypocrite. So in order to combat the ego, in order to become more self-aware, become a more humble person, a more loving person, you have to be willing to look at yourself, and you got to be willing to look at all angles of everything. And this is why you do Byron Katie's work too, because if you were doing Byron Katie's work, you wouldn't say that. You can take absolutely anything, and we're going to go through some things right now to show you, okay? The Boobie girls. The benefit and the advantage to that situation. For one, we get to see who's really being superficial. And that's great, because then you don't have to pick on somebody like that. You don't have to make some kind of comment. Somebody else is calling his people Care Bears. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, are you serious right now? Like, you're calling me a Care Bear? I'm a Care Bear. What the hell? Oh my God. So, but you don't have to make a comment. You don't have to tell the person, and you don't have to go to all these other people and tell them, don't watch so-and-so because they, or even like they mentioned this thing that I think is evil, that I think is bad or whatever. You don't have to go do that. You see the superficiality and you're like, unfollow. No, thank you. And you go to somebody else that really resonates with you. That's how you refine what really resonates with you. That's how you are becoming more authentic. when you can see things for how they are and not like some people would look at that and compare their bodies to that person's body and feel lacking and they'd feel bad about themselves or they wouldn't be like, they'd be like, oh, like all of this lack stuff would come up for them, right? Well, don't watch that person or realize that you just got triggered and go through and do the healing work on it. Right now, everything is about reflecting back on yourself and doing the healing work. So also realizing that those people have chosen that fun little timeline that they're on where they're doing a little song and dance and a little, a little seduction thing going on over there. However, they want to do that. And it's in their own flavor and in their own color. So that brings a large audience. So they get the truth or material out to the public more because people are drawn to they're just attracted. So they get sucked in and they hear some truths that they need to hear. So they're helping with the awakening by drawing in a larger crowd. That's freaking awesome. That's a huge benefit. They've got some really great information and it makes it more fun to watch if you're looking at boobies sometimes. For those who are attracted to boobies, what's another benefit? I don't know. There's drawing in a crowd and having a beautiful body to look at. Those are some great benefits. But again, if you don't like that, and if you don't want those benefits, then there's no need to judge each other. There's no need. You can just be like, okay, so that's the timeline they're choosing to be on right now. And so you just align with a different timeline with people who are being more sincere and more authentic, and they don't need to parade themselves around in that way to try to get attention from their man or something like that. You know what I mean? And do that with everything. So you take a look at what else annoying is going on right now. There's a lot of really annoying things. Okay, so people who are running out to get the bee. Absolutely the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard of in my life. What is wrong with these people? But they're running out to do that because they decided to do that at this time. They decided to be a sheep. They decided to just follow the crowd and not even do their research and not even... They decided to be, to fall for an illusion of supposed freedom when there's not any freedom at all involved in that situation whatsoever. But they needed to go through that path. They needed to learn whatever they needed to learn. So we are not to judge them and feel threatened by that, saying, oh my gosh, I wish they'd get their shit together. I wish that they would awaken so that we can all finally go forward into some better things in life and get past all this and, be done with this chapter. And by the way, we are done with this chapter. Those who are actually paying attention to what's going on behind the scenes, the white hats in the alliance are definitely in charge at this point. And, the bad guys are all in jail or dead, and they've got clones and doubles and all kinds of things, faking things. They've got CGI, they've got all kinds of things to try to make it look like everything is going as it's always been going, paying attention to that. Like, I can't even, the list goes on and on and on. It's all just a big fake Truman Show television program that's just not even true. And it's not current. It's not even current. But we've already won. But they're just trying to get people alarmed enough to never go back to that again. So here's a benefit and advantage to that happening. These people need to experience it and be afraid and say, what the hell is going on in our world? Our world is completely different, completely changed. I never would have fathomed this 2 years ago, that any of this stuff would be going on right now. So it's waking people up. This is the Great Awakening. This is what we're supposed to be doing, is we're supposed to be waking up from all of this so that it never happens again. So these evil people don't keep tricking us into, they have tricked us in every possible way, shape, and form. If you right now don't realize that everything that we've ever been taught, or the way that we were raised, or the ways that we were conditioned for so many years was all completely backwards or wrong, or like we have to relearn everything. If you're not realizing that your whole world is a complete lie in every way, shape, and form you can imagine, then you don't have enough information as to what's really going on right now. If you're still thinking that life is the way that it was prior to this thing that happened, you're still asleep, because it's not even close. So we've just been conditioned for a really long time. In order for that not to happen again, we really need to be shocked. And they're trying to shock everybody right now, but you don't need to judge it, and you don't need to be alarmed, and you don't need to be spreading the fear, and you don't need to be buying into all the drama, the fake dramas that are going on. And now when I say fake, it doesn't mean people aren't getting hurt, you guys. I'm not saying people aren't dying. They're definitely dying. And they do die of the flu every year as well, or they used to. They did. It did exist. The flu did exist. So did the cold and everything else. And there are also people dying of the V's all the time. So that part's not fake. But what's fake are the numbers, the statistics, the reason that it happened, that like the whole story, they call it the narrative. The whole narrative is all an illusion. It's all fake. So see everybody, like whenever you see something that you judge, like I did at the beginning of this video, take the time to sit down and do that exercise. Thank you, God, for my misery. Thank you, God, that all these truthers are being totally fake, totally superficial, and flashing their bodies all over in people's faces. And then write down the benefits and advantages as to why that's a really great thing. Even the bad guys, you guys, even the guys who are mutilating babies. I mean, they're here for a reason at this time. They planned to come down in here and be here for a particular reason. They had to play the bad guy role, and they're doing it very, very, very well, or they were, up until this whole thing got turned on them. And some of these guys, by the way, are being forced to follow through on the plans that they were going to take if they were able to have taken over the world. And so they're being like they're being forced. They're like, you do what you were going to do, and you're going to be embarrassed about it because people are waking up to it, and it's a really scary situation for them to follow through with some of the stuff. We need to rise up against it. We need to say no to it. Because if you're giving into that stuff, then you're contributing to the prolonging of this and whatnot. But everybody's playing their part in the playground, and the mutilating of the babies had to happen too. And there's benefits and advantages to that too. Because if that wouldn't have been happening all along, many careers, wonderful actors and actresses, and some elites who've had some actually really beneficial things, some humanitarian things have happened from it. People that we really enjoy watching in movies and TV shows, even though the whole thing was fake, and they ended up like putting a total facade on. Mr. Hanks, for example, we think he's this really awesome character. Oprah, both of those guys are really, really evil, and you'd never know. Many, 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 many respected, positive, incredible people, you're gonna be shocked, are really, really horrible people. So, or at least, I mean, I wouldn't say horrible. Well, yeah, they're horrible people. Well, they're evil. I mean, they're just evil, and they don't have a conscience. So, but they, look at the material that they made. Look at the inspirational stuff that Oprah made, and the wonderful movies that Mr. Hanks made, and all the wonderful things that have come of it, you guys, all the incredible songs. Like, I'm starting to listen to songs now and be like, oh my God, like wow, making love to something innocent. Interesting. Never caught that before. And I don't care to express that I love it. Something like that, like stuff like that. Like I'm like, when you start awakening, you start hearing and seeing everything different. And you're looking at the ingredients of things, and you're remembering things that were told you all along that you didn't put it together yet. It's going to start being put together, you guys. You're going to start putting it together, but it's not to judge these people, okay? And there's the benefit and advantage to everything. Everything that's been going on has needed to go on and is going on just like it should. If you see people, whatever it is that's upsetting you at this time of the Great Awakening, do your best to be doing the exercises on it and come to a point of neutrality to where you just respect life. You just respect how it is, how it goes. That people get tricked into things, that people are raised in a certain way. They didn't know any better. They thought that it was the right way to be. They thought that it was normal to stab and kill people and to, to manipulate and to, that's how they grew up. They were actually taught. They grew up in the system where they were taught that that was the right way to be, and that the rest of us are just idiots. We're just stupid. So, and they're right. They're right now. Those of you who aren't fighting back and doing anything about it, they're totally right. You guys are idiots. You're falling for it. But not to judge it, because there's a benefit and an advantage to that too. So just be looking. Just keep bringing yourself back to being willing to see all of the good that's in the bad, that's in the seeming bad. And then you can accept and be neutral about all of it that you see. And if you don't like what somebody's doing, their song and dance, you just unfollow them. It's really that simple. And you don't have to give anybody a hard time necessarily. And if you do, that's fine too, because you're playing in your timeline. But try to catch yourself and try to heal those things so that you can be as neutral as possible. Okay. So I'm just pulling some random cards. Taking action. I enthusiastically embrace life's boundless possibilities. Boundless possibilities. The good people, the bad people, the people who are taking no action, the ones that are taking action, the ones that are, anybody who's irritating you right now, see them as just a different flavor, different style, different tree, and we want variety in our world. It's like variety is the spice of life, but it's also what helps us to be unconditionally loving people, accepting what is. Accept everything exactly as it is, radically accept everything. I accept and embrace my inner majesty. When you feel in the mood to look at boobies, you can go watch those people again. You can go back to that channel and you can watch those people again. When you don't, you just don't do it. If you feel in the mood to go look at this or go do that or check into this or whatever it is you're doing, it's okay. And whatever it is anybody else is doing is perfectly okay. You don't have to subject yourself to it though, either. People pleasing is a thing too right now. It's like, don't be friends with anybody who you don't really resonate with. Don't just, if something if somebody or a situation is not benefiting you, if it's not giving back to you equally in equal measure, is how they just said it, there's no reason for it to be there. If it's not actively benefiting you back as much as you're benefiting it, get rid of it. Just be done and communicate freely. I communicate from the depths of my being. So talk candidly, speak your truth, from a deep level, an authentic level, be expressing your ultimate truth. Be in your power, speak from that powerful place of being a real queen, a clothed queen, someone who if you want to be making a difference in this world, you've got to exude power. You have to gain people's respect. You have to be somebody that people can look up to and follow and have confidence in what you're doing. And if you're, certain people, it depends on what you want to do. It depends on how you want to play right now. Giving birth, I'm bringing forth new and dynamic energy into the world. So, if they can do this, I can do that. Maybe you can be encouraged by those people rather than condemning it or being upset about it. You could just be like, you know what? All right, I'm going to do my own thing like that. Or they just gave me an idea to go do blah, blah, blah. Or maybe I don't post enough pictures of myself in a bikini. Maybe I need to start putting myself in a bikini. If there's anything that you can't stand about anything or anyone. I remember growing up, I was a real tomboy, and I didn't wear makeup or anything like that. Didn't know how to do my hair. I always dressed like a boy and everything. And so I was intimidated by the girls that would do their hair and their makeup and wear all the best clothes, all that kind of stuff in high school, right? So I really judged that whole idea. And then I told myself, because I even had the philosophy back then, and even back then, I mean, I was way less evolved than I am now. Like I was, but at least I had I guess you'd call it tenacity, the tenacity or the wisdom, really, to always look at what it is I'm really, really upset about and turn it around. So I had the opportunity after I left high school to do some modeling, and I was fighting against it. My friend wanted me to go with her, and I was like, hell no, am I going to go into that fake world? Like that. I mean, I was so opinionated about it. So like that just infuriated me, the idea. And she was like, I could really use the support. Please, just please go with me. So, eventually I learned how to do makeup. I learned how to do hair. I would put on wigs. I would have people do my makeup for me, put on fake lashes. I would pose in Beverly Hills. I would go through all these photo shoots. I mean, I embraced that world. I went to CoverGirl conventions and all kinds of things. And I did decide ultimately it definitely wasn't for me. Definitely was not for me. There was way too many drugs and way too many sleeping around with directors and things for me. It just wasn't, it just didn't, none of it had anything to do with integrity. And I just felt like it was going to a worse and worse and worse place. So I did choose to get out of it, but I figured out how to do my hair and my makeup. There were a lot of really good things that came of it. I love a lot of those old photos that were taken of me. So there were some great things from it. It gave me more confidence, because then I felt more like a girl sometimes when I could get dressed up for a night out, or I could, so I even had that when I was younger. And I just think it's so important. And go embark on a new journey. I savor the wonders of the world. Everyone being different, everyone being unique, everybody has a different note in the song. You guys, the song isn't the same if you play the same note over and over and over again, right? If you're a Bible thumper, I hate to tell you this, but the Bible is phony baloney, and it was made by Luciferians. All religions were. So don't get up on your high horse and try to judge other people, trying to tell them they shouldn't be believing that, because you're going to be really embarrassed later when you realize what's really going on, and you fell for it. You fell for the whole worshiping one big being is so jealous and angry that you have to only worship it, or otherwise you're, I mean, it's like, they're so, oh my gosh. And I was a Bible thumper, guys. I'm speaking from experience. I had to go through that part of my awakening as well. I love Jesus. I love God. I talk to them all the time. In fact, God is really my only, usually my source of all information. So, but to me, God is a group of deities. Oh, that's funny. I bring you a message from your deceased loved one. I am happy, at peace, and I love you very much. Please don't worry about me. I don't see how this card always gets me, because I'm just like, why would we worry about our deceased? Well, I guess some of you sometimes come to me about that. And it's like, are they in the right place? Are they in heaven? Did they make it? Oh, so I feel like some of you actually have people who've passed away that are going to escort you into the new earth, into the 5D, into your ultimate authenticity. You've got help on the other side. You've got, you've always ask to see the truth in all things, and always ask for your guides to help you and to show you things. If you feel like you're not getting it, if you're like, if you do get stuck on one of those exercises and you're just like, I don't see any benefit or advantage to this horrible thing that happened, ask for them to show you. Be open-minded and be like, what has been the benefit or the advantage to that having happened? I'm the angel of marriage, and I'm assisting you right now. So having this ability is going to also help you adapt to, this new situation that you're going to go into. A lot of people are coming into union right now, and maybe there'll be some things that you'll want to judge about your person. So figure out the benefits and advantages as to why they went through what they did or why they did to you what they did. And new psychic and spiritual experiences will change the way that you're viewing the world and yourself. Allow the spiritual gifts to open through study, prayer, and meditation. So, we're growing, we're learning, we're accepting, we're loving. Try to become more unconditionally loving all the time. Things are going to irritate you. Go ahead and let it irritate you, but do something about it. Don't just sit there on your high horse and act like you're better than everybody. I'm no better than the Boobie pictures, than the Boobie people. Like I show my chest. Sometimes I'll show like what's on my shirt or whatnot. You can tell I got big boobs. I'm not putting them out there in people's faces, except for maybe my man. But like, that's just my choice though. That's how I feel about it. So maybe stay strong in your faith by aligning with like-minded people who are like of your same religious or spiritual community. We're bringing, what I feel with that is we're bringing together our soul tribe, the more authentic we can be. Prosperity, there's a positive shift in your flow of divine support. So the more you line up with your ultimate truth and start living out of that ultimate truth, whatever that truth is, the more you're going to have prosperity coming through to you as well. Increase support. Again, be asking the angels for their help because that's what they're here for. They're twiddling their thumbs if you're not asking for help, and you're floundering around and they're like, well, I don't know how to help you because you're not even asking for my help, and I can't help you unless you ask. So your positive focus and willingness to receive have opened the doorway to an abundance of help and opportunities. So you got to be out of judgment in order for these things to come through too. You got to be like in a neutral space. You got to go with the flow. Allow yourself to feel it, but correct it. Get back in it. Check it out. Keep checking yourself. And healthy communication in relationships, heart-to-heart discussions. Clear, assertive communication help you understand and be understood. So this is really like practice being authentic. First of all, you have to be honest with yourself. You got to see yourself how you really are. And you can do that through exercises like I'm talking about, like Byron Katie, thank you, God, for my misery, all that stuff. Be doing those exercises, guys, because some huge shifts are coming forward. In the new earth, there's not going to be any more judgment. There's going to be total telepathy. Everybody's going to be healed. Everyone's going to look young. There are so many incredible things that are coming. And it is, you're not going to be able to be fake anymore, guys. And it could be an uncomfortable transformation for those of you who just insist on going with the old way, and that's okay. And if you're totally fear-based right now, there's going to be a lot of humbling moments for you to kind of destroy your world as you know it, so that you can then rise up, the phoenix rising from the ashes, better and more improved and more authentic. Why do we want to be authentic and why do we want to have all these colors and things? It's because we've got freedom. We're free and sovereign human beings, and we want to stay that way. We don't want to become robots. We don't want to have our reproductive system destroyed so that we can't have kids or can't have feelings for anyone anymore and don't want to be in any relationships. We don't want to become like unisex so that we don't reproduce anymore and we can't have love or compassion. Like some of these bees actually like disconnect you from God itself. You can't even fathom the concept anymore. Some people who've had it are just like totally blank in the face and they've lost all emotion. They've just become pretty much like zombies. So that is all. Even a lot of people who've had the V embrace it with love, both you and and if you've had it, then embrace it as best you can. Sometimes you can't. Oh my gosh, this was so funny. I have a friend who she has to get tested twice a week. I mean, how awful. She has to be tested twice a week and she has to wear those things over her face at her work. She doesn't have a choice. She really is totally against it, but can't do a thing about it. And it's so funny because she saw this guy the other day with a thing on her face, and she's like, Amy, she goes, I saw this guy and I think he was cute. I think he was cute. I couldn't quite tell because he had the thing on his face, but I think he was really cute. And I was just laughing, like, what days are we living in? That you can't see somebody's face or their expression anymore, and you can't see their humanity. And then the other day this guy, oh my gosh, he was so cute. He had me all flustered and I couldn't even I was supposed to do this thing for him and I couldn't do it. And I was like fumbling all over the place and I was so clumsy and I was just so embarrassed. And he just, oh my gosh, he was so cute. And then she said that she wrote his name down and looked him up on Instagram. And she goes, oh, he wasn't even close to as cute as I thought he was with the mask on. So I'm just like, these times are the craziest freaking times. It's changing, though. It's changing, guys. Don't even worry about it. In a couple of months, I swear, this is not even going to be the same world anymore. It's not going to change that dramatically, that quickly. But man, as soon as that natural disaster and or the EBS system comes, or the 3 days of darkness, any of those major events that we've been waiting for, as soon as one of those things happen, this whole pandemic is going to be gone. It's going to be dropped like that. Nobody likes it anyway. It's just that nobody's got the balls to stand up against it. And or they've been completely bamboozled and tricked by what they're watching on their television screens, which is complete lies. So, things are changing rapidly and people got your back, and there's going to be ways with these med beds and things that you guys are going to be able to repair yourselves. But just know, ultimately, above everything, trust that God has a divine plan and a divine order to all of it. Put all of your trust in God. Don't put it in material things. Don't put it in money. Don't put it in gold. Don't put it in silver. Don't put your security and safety in having a man. Don't put your safety and security in everybody being like you, but don't eliminate all of that. Put your safety and security in knowing your own power, claiming your right to be a free and sovereign human being that has feelings, that has a connection to God source energy, consciousness. Just be, in that energy of staking your claim on who you are and your freedom, and letting everybody else be whatever they want to be and whoever they want to be. Focus on unconditional love and healing, and it's going to make this transition from the 3D to the 5D a hell of a lot smoother. So hopefully something I've said in this video has helped. Let's see here. Just a couple more cards, guys. Kuan Yin. The quickening. Ha. The fast track with the Divine Mother moves us rapidly through life's challenges. Amen. Hallelujah. The road can get a bit bumpy when traveling at her accelerated pace. Nor will you often feel that you are in control of the navigation. That is part of the experience when you are to be moved rapidly with divine help. Best to just hold on to her and trust you'll get to where you need to be. So just trust in this process, because you are exactly where you need to be. The strength of you. Are you doubting your ability to heal or recover? There's nothing that has fundamentally damaged your spirit, your will, or your heart, no matter how broken those parts of you may feel at times. They have only ever been broken to heal stronger. They have not been broken beyond repair and never will be. Dream your dreams. Trust that the dreams in your heart are placed there lovingly by the universe. You are meant to dream of what you dream. All right. And a couple of goddess cards. Go outside, get in nature. You've been indoors too long. Get outside and get some fresh air. Very important for us. Vitamin D with K is also important. Vitamin C. home cooking, and compassion. Release judgments about yourself and others and focus on the love and light that is within everyone. Any others? Receptivity, allow yourself to receive. This will increase your intuition, energy, and ability to give to others. So don't shoulder everything on yourself. Delegate. Delegate and lean on your friends for support sometimes. Fertility, this is a perfect time for you to start new projects, access new ideas, and give birth to new conditions. You might even be having a baby. You want to be fertile. Those V's, they can make you infertile. Would have been good to check on that before you got one, right? Mother Earth is going to heal you, though. Don't worry. You are called upon to help with environmentalism. So if you feel like that rings a bell for you, there are so many humanitarian projects opening up right now. So whatever, dream the dream and use your inner wisdom. You know what to do. Trust your inner wisdom and take appropriate action without delay. So listen to your intuition. And look at, can you see the colors in that? It's like an aura quartz, right? I just so happen to have one right here. Same colors as that rainbow, right? Or the wing. Is it a wing? Yeah, it's a wing. Maybe you're realizing you're an earth angel. But you're here at this time for a reason, you guys. Put your blinders on to anybody else, unless you enjoy them. If you enjoy being in someone's company, talking to someone, watching someone, following someone, then do that. If you don't, then don't. If you like someone's company, be around them. If you feel, just keep going toward, like I was talking to someone else too, and she was trying to make a decision. She goes, I don't know if I want to. And I said, then don't. The minute I don't know if I want to, don't do that. Go toward what's making you happy right now. We're learning to refine making quick decisions like this based on if you have any kind of hesitation or any kind of then just don't. You might do it later, just don't right then. Just keep going toward what actually makes you happy. I'm not talking about your ego telling you you're not good enough or skepticism you got to learn to decipher that too. The devil from the angel on your shoulder. But whatever it is, they're also saying avoid chemicals and harsh things right now. Expect a miracle. If you expect a miracle, everything's a placebo. If you expect a miracle, it's going to happen for you. Keep in a positive energy and keep encouraging people to be themselves. You boobie people, good for you. Good for you. You got it, flaunt it. You want to do that? That's your flavor. That's your timeline. And some men are really enjoying that. So maybe some women too. You baby eaters out there or those who've taken those substances, good for you. It got you where you are, got you where you were going. And why not be grateful for it, having gotten you there? And why not be grateful for those children? Why not be grateful for all of it, every bit of it? Because it's brought us here today and it's bringing on the new earth. It's going to be so much more harmonious and so much more beautiful than we could ever imagine. And so many people who've died can even come back, whether it's through reincarnation or coming back from the dead, that would be a miracle. But there's so many technologies that have been kept from us for so long that it's going to be shocking, you guys. But it's such an incredible time to be alive right now, because you're going to get to see all this firsthand. Anyway, okay, have yourselves a beautiful day. Go take out a piece of paper and start writing down anything that really bothers you or really makes you mad, and figure out why it's a really great thing that it's happening or that it did happen. And it's just going to help you when you can radically accept these things. It's really going to help you see clearly and stay in a neutral place and to be able to listen to your intuition way better. Okay, love you, sending you a big hug. Hang in there. Bye.
If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. If you're interested in getting a reading, you can check out my services at amysatori.com/services. You can also join me on Patreon, where I do a monthly energies reading, pick a deck, messages from spirit, and more. Subscribe to me on alternative channels such as BitChute, Brand New Tube, YouTube, and the Collective Super Channel if you want to be sure we stay connected. Feel free to follow me on Instagram or reach out on Telegram as well. If you're interested in some great health-boosting products I'm a huge fan of, please enter the URL below in your browser for more information. Also, check for the latest updates in the description of my videos as I try to keep them up to date. Thank you so much and have yourself a beautiful day.